Bonjour and welcome back to Le Podcast de Philippe. If you enjoy these deep dives, you should make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, Spotify, and Amazon so you don't miss out on any of the new episodes. And hey, if you're feeling extra supportive, think about checking out the crowdfunding campaign for the photography exhibition. The link for that is in the show notes. But today, we're diving into the world of Scikit-learn. It's this Python library that's really making waves in the AI world. We're also going to explore the work of its co-founder, a prominent French researcher named Gaël Varoquaux. Now, you might be thinking, why should I care about Scikit-learn? Well, even if you aren't a programmer, this tool is quietly shaping the technology you use every day. It's behind everything from the personalized recommendations on your favorite streaming service to even those spam filters that are keeping your inbox hopefully clean. So let's get into it. What makes Scikit-learn so special, and why are all these developers so enthusiastic about it?
So one of the biggest factors behind the success of Scikit-learn is its standardized approach to machine learning. You can think of it kind of like a universal set of tools. So instead of having to learn like a whole different set of commands for every single algorithm, Scikit-learn uses consistent methods, things like fit, score, and predict across the board. And this makes it so user-friendly, especially for people just starting out.
So it's kind of like having a common language for machine learning, regardless of what specific task you're tackling.
Exactly. So whether you're working with supervised learning algorithms like classification and regression, or if you're diving into unsupervised learning with things like clustering and dimensionality reduction, Scikit-learn kind of gives you that consistent framework that really just simplifies the whole process.
That's really fascinating. It sounds like it's really lowered the barrier to entry for people who want to get into machine learning.
Oh, absolutely. And that's actually reflected in its incredible popularity. Scikit-learn is downloaded over 80 million times every month. This accessibility has really been crucial in democratizing access to machine learning and allowing people from all different backgrounds to be able to contribute to the field.
Wow. 80 million downloads a month. That's impressive. But beyond just the ease of use, what else contributes to Scikit-learn's, widespread adoption?
Well, I think it's important to note that it's not just a standalone tool, it's really part of a larger ecosystem. So Scikit-learn actually integrates seamlessly with other Python libraries that are essential, things like NumPy and SciPy, which are used for numerical computations. And then you also have Matplotlib, which is used for data visualization. This interoperability makes it incredibly powerful and flexible.
So it's kind of like having all the ingredients you need in one place to make any kind of machine learning dish you can imagine.
Precisely. And just as importantly, Scikit-learn has a vibrant and supportive community. The documentation is super extensive, it's collaboratively developed, and it's known for being very clear and easy to understand, which is essential both for beginners and experienced users.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Right.
A strong community can really make or break an open source project. Speaking of which, let's talk about the kind of mastermind behind Scikit-learn, Gaël Varoquaux. His journey is really quite remarkable. So he actually started with a PhD in quantum physics. Then he shifted his focus to computer science and data processing, ultimately becoming a leading figure in machine learning. It's not every day you see someone bridge those two fields.
I think that's a testament to his curiosity and his ability to kind of adapt his expertise to new challenges. He's actually currently a director of research at INRIA, which is the French National Institute for Research in Digital Science and Technology. And his work there focuses on using machine learning to understand the complexities of the human brain.
Brain modeling with machine learning, that sounds incredibly cutting edge.
It is. And his influence extends beyond the lab, too. So in 2024, he was actually appointed to the French government's AI committee, which I think is a real testament to his expertise and the growing national importance of AI.
Yeah, so we're talking about someone who's not only deeply involved in research, but also influencing these policy decisions at like a national level.
Yeah.
And it seems like a key part of his vision is making AI accessible to everyone. He's a really big advocate for open source software, which has been fundamental to Scikit-learn's success.
Absolutely. Open source software allows anyone to use, modify, and distribute the code completely freely. And this really fosters that collaboration and encourages transparency, and it accelerates innovation on a global scale.
It's a really powerful model for development, especially in a field that's as rapidly evolving as AI.
And Gail's commitment to this open source philosophy goes even further. He actually co-founded a company called Probable, specifically to support the sustainable development of the open source data science ecosystem.
So he's not just building tools, he's actively trying to create an environment where these tools can flourish and be accessible to everyone. This commitment to open access has earned him so much respect within the AI community. He's actually the most cited French researcher in AI publications.
Yeah, his work has had a really tangible impact on the field. So his 2011 paper, which introduced Scikit-learn, has been cited over 62,000 times, which even surpasses some of the most iconic figures in AI. It's really clear that his work is shaping the way people approach machine learning.
Yeah, those are some seriously impressive stats. And it's not just about the numbers either. He's seen as a real innovator, pushing for a more open and collaborative approach to AI development. It's not just him, though. The Scikit-learn community plays a huge role in its success, too. I mean, it's more than just like a group of users. It's a thriving hub of like knowledge sharing and collaborative development.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The community is incredibly active. You have nearly 1,300 contributors and over 600 who are actively involved in the project. And this open source approach means that the library is constantly evolving with new features, bug fixes, improvements, all being added all the time.
And to give you a sense of the scale we're talking about here, Scikit-learn has roughly 700,000 monthly active users.
Yeah.
Back in 2018, their website had over 42 million visits. I mean, it's clear that this is a tool that's being used and embraced by a huge number of people.
Yeah, and I think a key part of that engagement is driven by the community's collaborative spirit. So they actually have these dedicated sprints at conferences where developers will come together and actually work on the project in a very focused and energized way. It's a fantastic example of how open source can really foster innovation and accelerate progress.
And that collaborative spirit extends to the documentation as well, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that it's incredibly comprehensive and well-written, which is essential for making such a powerful tool accessible to a wider audience.
That's right. The documentation is actually considered one of the best in the open source world. It's clear, detailed, collaboratively developed, which really ensures its quality and accuracy. It's like having a team of expert tutors guiding you through the world of machine learning.
So you have this really powerful tool. You have a visionary leader, and then you have this vibrant community. They're all coming together to democratize access to AI and push the boundaries of what's possible. It's a pretty inspiring story, wouldn't you say? But what does this all mean for the average person? How is Scikit-learn impacting our lives right now?
That's a great question. And it's something that we'll definitely dive into in the next part of our deep dive. I mean, Scikit-learn is quietly working behind the scenes in more ways than you might imagine.
Stay tuned as we uncover those hidden impacts and explore how Scikit-learn is shaping the future of AI.
You know, Scikit-learn is already having a really profound impact on a wide range of fields, even if we don't always see it directly. Take, for example, the rise of personalized medicine. Scikit-learn is actually being used to analyze these huge data sets of patient information, genetic data, medical histories, to help develop treatments that are tailored to a person's unique needs.
That sounds like something out of a science fiction movie.
Yeah.
But it's happening right now.
It really is. And it's not just limited to medicine. Think about smart cities, for instance. Scikit-learn is being used to optimize things like traffic flow, reduce energy consumption, and even improve public safety, all by analyzing this real-time data from sensors and cameras that are all over these urban environments.
It's amazing to think that one tool is playing such a diverse role in so many different areas.
And its impact is only going to grow as more and more data becomes available, and as people kind of come up with even more creative ways to apply machine learning to these real-world problems.
So it's not just about the technology itself, right? It's about how we choose to use it. And that brings up some really interesting questions about the future. What are some of the potential applications of Scikit-learn that we might see, in the years to come?
Well, imagine if we could use machine learning to actually accelerate scientific discovery. You could use Scikit-learn to analyze these massive data sets in fields like climate science or materials engineering. And this could help researchers uncover hidden patterns and maybe make breakthroughs that would otherwise take years or even decades to achieve.
That's a fascinating idea. It's almost like giving scientists a superpower, right? Letting them make connections and see things. That would just be impossible for the human eye alone.
Exactly. And then think about the potential for personalized education. Scikit-learn could be used to analyze a student's learning patterns and then adapt educational materials, in real time, to meet their individual needs. So you'd have this truly customized learning experience.
Yeah, that could revolutionize the way we teach and learn. It really sounds like Scikit-learn has the potential to empower us in so many ways. from, personalizing our healthcare to even tackling these global challenges like climate change.
It really does. But as we've been discussing, with great power comes great responsibility. It's really crucial that we think carefully about the ethical implications of these tools. And we need to make sure that they're developed and used in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That's a really important point. And I think Gaël Varoquaux' commitment to open source software plays a vital role in kind of addressing those ethical concerns, right? Because by making that code transparent and accessible to everyone, it encourages scrutiny and it fosters a sense of collective responsibility.
It's like creating this checks and balances system for AI development. By having this large community involved, we increase the chances of identifying and addressing potential biases or, even unintended consequences before they become major problems.
It's a bit like having a global team of watchdogs all working together to ensure that these tools are being used responsibly. And it's not just developers, right? It's researchers, policymakers, everyday citizens, all kind of engaging in this conversation and shaping the future of AI.
Exactly. The future of AI is not predetermined. It's being written right now, and we all have a role to play.
So I think as we start to wrap up this deep dive into Scikit-learn and the remarkable work of Gaël Varoquaux, I think a key takeaway for our listeners is that AI is not some distant, futuristic concept. It's here now. And it's already profoundly impacting our lives in so many ways that we may not even realize.
And tools like Scikit-learn are making it easier than ever for anyone to get involved, to learn, experiment, contribute to this field that's constantly evolving.
But with that power comes responsibility, right? It's up to all of us to make sure that these tools are used ethically and thoughtfully, to consider those potential consequences, and to engage in those open and honest discussions about the future we're creating.
Yeah, it's a fascinating and challenging time to be alive. We're on the cusp of something truly transformative, and it's up to us to shape that transformation in a way that really benefits all of humanity.
Well said. So, to our listeners out there, we leave you with this thought. The future of AI is not set in stone. It's being written right now. And each of us has a role to play in shaping that future. Whether you're a developer, a researcher, a policymaker, or simply just somebody who's curious about the world around them, engage with these topics, ask questions, challenge those assumptions, and be a part of the conversation. Because the future of AI is ultimately the future of humanity, and it's a future we create together.
As we've been talking about Scikit-learn and all the incredible work Gaël Varoquaux has done, it's really got me thinking.
What's on your mind?
Well, we've covered how accessible and powerful this tool is and how it's, helping innovation and collaboration all over the world. But what's next? What are the possibilities we haven't even thought of yet? What will future generations do with these tools that we can't even imagine?
That's a really great question. It's like we're standing at the edge of this huge unexplored territory, and the possibilities are just endless. I mean, think about how far we've come in just the last 10 years. Who knows what the next 10 will bring?
Yeah, exactly. Imagine, for example, the potential for these hyper-personalized experiences. I mean, we're already seeing personalized recommendations for things like movies and products online. But what if you could personalize entire environments?
What do you mean?
Imagine walking into a room and the lighting, the temperature, even the artwork changes to fit your preferences, all based on machine learning algorithms that have analyzed your past behavior and biometric data.
That's wild. It's like a perfect blend of the physical and digital worlds, right?
Yeah.
Completely tailored to each person.
Exactly. And it's not just about making things more comfortable or convenient either. Think about accessibility. What if buildings and public spaces could automatically adapt to the needs of people with disabilities, making it super easy for them to get around and interact with everything?
That would be incredible. It's not just about making things smarter then.
Yeah.
It's about making them more inclusive, too.
Right, exactly. And it goes even further than that. Imagine AI assistants that actually understand how you learn best and can help you learn new skills more effectively. Like you could learn a new language or master a complex subject with an AI tutor that adapts to your pace and gives you personalized feedback.
Wow, like a personal trainer for your brain.
Exactly. And then there's creativity. We're already seeing AI being used to create music and art and even write stories. Imagine if everyone had access to AI tools that could help them be more creative, even if they don't have traditional artistic skills.
It's amazing. It's like making creativity accessible to everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And all of this is powered by tools like Scikit-learn, which are becoming more and more accessible and user-friendly all the time. It's a really exciting time to be alive with so much potential for positive change.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's inspiring to see people like Gaël Varoquaux not only pushing the limits of what's possible, but also making sure that these tools are available to everyone. So to all our listeners out there, we encourage you to explore the world of Scikit-learn. See what amazing things you can create with it. Whether you're a developer or just starting to learn about AI, there are so many possibilities waiting to be discovered. And remember, the future of AI isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we create together. So let's get involved, experiment, and build a future where AI helps us live better, healthier, and more fulfilling lives. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of Scikit-learn and the inspiring story of Gaël Varoquaux. Thanks for joining us on this episode of New Podcast de Philippe. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure to check out the link to our crowdfunding campaign for the photography exhibition. It's in the show notes. Until next time, au revoir.